Hello YouTube, it's Lion here with Hobbies of Man, and today we are doing another monthly haul video. Today we are going everything I bought in terms of all of my hobbies that I ended up buying in this month of August. Now, this is a kind of weird haul because I recently got into comic books a little bit more properly. If you guys remember all the way back when I started my channel, I had said in that first haul video that I was starting to get into comics, but then I never really did. So I'm doing that now because now that I'm in a different place, I actually have access to a lot more comic book shops than I do at home with my parents. So, you know, I ended up going there and setting up a pull list, and I've been kind of going to two different ones, trying to find stuff that I want to read. And so I ended up buying a lot of comic books this month, beyond just the usual manga. And I also ended up buying one novel. So we're gonna kind of incorporate all of that into our haul video. We're gonna start with the manga, then we're gonna do the book, then we're gonna do all of the comic book related stuff. I sadly didn't buy any Gunpla or any fountain pens or anything else, mostly because I was funneling on all of my hobby money into this new comic book obsession. Hopefully it doesn't end up destroying my budget, but like it might. So let's just jump into it. Let's start with the manga. So first thing I bought this month, and in fact I actually bought it at the end of last month, even before I moved into my new apartment, and it was the first thing that got to me, is Fist of the North Star Volume 1. Now, I got this because I saw a lot of hype around it. I thought it was really cool, very interesting, and I'm actually really excited about it. I think it's very cool. I love the art style in it, and of course, I'm pretty sure this was a contemporary of Saint Seiya. At the time period, they were both releasing in the same Shonen Jump magazine of the time, and so I'm actually really excited to check out something that was, you know, concurrent with Saint Seiya, which is one of my favorite series of all time. So there you go. That's Fist of the North Star right there. That's the first thing I bought. I also ended up buying Mashle Volume 1 and Drifting Dragons 3, which I'll show you in a picture here, because I actually have those up there with my TBR pile, and I don't feel like getting them, so I'm just not going to. So there's the picture of them again. Then I bought some stuff digitally. I bought Snow White Volumes 2 and 3, and then Chiya Ha Furu Volumes 2 and 3 as well. I bought these during that one Kodansha sale where it was like buy the first 3 volumes of different series for less than $5 each, which is pretty nice. I think I got Space Brothers, Chiyahu Fura, Snow White, Tokyo Revengers, and then something else in that sale, which was really nice. And I bought it between last month and this month, which is cool. And then I ordered a few different things from cheapmanga.com. First of all, I got Tomo-chan Volumes 1, 2, and 3. There you go. So if I can show you all 3 of them in one shot. There you go. There you go. That's actually better that way. And I got this because my buddy Robert always tells me to buy it, and I never do. And then I saw it on sale, so I definitely picked this up. I might actually end up buying 4 through 6 since they also have it on that website. But I'm not too sure because I don't know if I like this, but I mean, it really isn't that expensive. So I might just pick it up, read all of it, and then decide if I like it. And then the other thing I bought was Gal Gohan Volume 1. Volume 2 was supposed to be in that package as well, but apparently they ran out of them. It was out of stock, so they gave me back my money for that volume, and then they just sent me the first one, which is kind of sad, but I'm pretty excited about this. Gal Gohan is one that I've been wanting to pick up for a while because, one, it has a cute girl who's a gal, which is one of my favorite kind of Japanese character types, and because it's a food manga. So there you go, Gal Gohan Volume 1. The art in this looks really cute, and of course it's quite ecchi, so hopefully it's good and enjoyable. Then I bought Buddha Volume 1. I bought this at my local half-price books. And here's a picture of it because my buddy, my roommate, is actually reading it right now. He was kind of interested in Buddha, like the guy, like the religion. And I was like, hey, I have this volume that's kind of like a historical manga about it. You want to read it? He was like, sure. And now he's reading it, so I can't show you guys right now, but here's a picture of it. And yeah, and then I bought Blue Lock Volumes 1 through 3. So 1, 2, and 3, which was kind of expensive. It was about $20 for all 3 of them. And of course they were digital because Kodansha doesn't want to publish them physically for some reason. I'm actually hoping that Panini Manga in Mexico does it at some point, so I can buy those physically. But who knows? It seems like it's kind of a difficult endeavor. The only company that I can think of that has it, I think, is Ivrea in it might be Argentina or it might be Spain. I can't remember. But there's one Latin American company, or one Spanish-speaking company, sorry, that has the rights to physical editions. But for some reason, it looks like it's difficult to buy or to publish physically. But I bought them and I'm looking forward to it. It doesn't really seem to be anything except a sports manga with some like superpowers or something. So I don't think I'll read it anytime soon, but I did buy it since it was on sale. They were like half price or something, but it's kind of ridiculous because for some reason, digital manga and digital comics end up costing about the same as physical ones. And I don't really see why. I mean, you're not printing it. You don't have to save it anywhere. You don't have to store it. I mean, I guess digital storage space is kind of difficult. And you need kind of like a server to maintain everyone's like storage. But I mean, just let people download it and keep it for themselves and you wouldn't have that problem, right? So I don't know. I think it's just kind of a shitty business model to kind of steal as much as they can from consumers. But I'm not really sure. So whatever. Then I bought Fairy Tail Zero. Fairy Tail is awesome. Hiro Mashima is awesome. And Fairy Tail Zero is a fairy tale prequel that kind of tells us the story of this girl right here, Mavis, who is the person that started this guild. And so this is kind of a one-shot story, kind of a prequel to the series. And I'm really happy to have gotten it. It was only $10, which is great. I mean, that's what it costs usually. But I was really happy to find it because I actually don't really find it very often in the stores that I frequent by my parents' house. But now that I'm in a university kind of far away from where I live, the stores here are a little bit different and they have a lot more stuff. I actually bought this at a comic book store, so that's pretty cool. There you go, Fairy Tail Zero. Then I went to Half Price Books again. There's a lot of restaurants around that Half Price Books, so whenever my roommates and I go eat out, we kind of end up at Half Price Books. Mostly on my insistence. So yeah, next I got Star Blazers $21.99 Volume 1. Now this one is a bit confusing because as far as I know, there's like 5 of these, but there's only 2 of them published and a third one is supposed to be on its way. At least it's listed on Amazon, but it doesn't have any information on it. And Dark Horse itself, since this is a Dark Horse comic, doesn't have any information on it either. So I'm not really sure what the heck is going on with it. It maybe just is not finished. It's not going to be finished. But this is a 2-in-1 volume of the new edition of Star Blazers $21.99, which is based on the $21.99 anime TV series, which came out sometime in the 2014 or something like that. And it's like basically Space Battleship Yamato, but with very nice updated art, and that's basically all it is. And I really like Space Battleship Yamato and Leiji Matsumoto, and so here we are. Bought the first one. Hopefully I can find the rest of them. And of course I want to collect all of the other Leiji Matsumoto works, but there's quite a few of them. There's Queen Emeralda's, and then there's a Captain Harlock Dimensional Voyage, and then there's the new Captain Harlock series that's being published by Ablaze, and I think there's 2 other things that I can collect by him that are available in English, but it's a lot of stuff, so it's kind of hard to do, but I'm kind of excited about it. Then at some point, I didn't write it down, I bought My Hero Academia Volume 2. Now My Hero Academia Volume 2 is not really anything special. I mean, I love My Hero Academia. It was actually one of the first things I bought when I started this iteration of my manga collection, and so it was nice to collect the second volume. But again, these are some of the series that I can read for free on the Shonen Jump app, and I'm only really collecting this and Black Clover because I love them so much. Otherwise I wouldn't really buy them. Of course, I also have 2 other series that I want to collect physically, which are Mashle, to support the artist, because I think that his stuff is really good and I really don't want it to end, and I want him to continue to have more manga after Mashle. And the other one, of course, is going to be Kaiju number 8 once that releases physically in December. But I mean, those are the only 4 Shonen Jump or Shonen Jump adjacent titles that I want to collect physically, but it's going to be a slow process. I don't think I'm going to collect them physically very often because I can just read them on the app, right? So here we go. My Hero Academia Volume 2. It's kind of funny to go back and look at Horikoshi's work from this time period of his life compared to what it is like every Sunday nowadays, which is kind of insane. Like the difference in art style from here to what it is now is like crazy. He has evolved so much. He's so good. He's kind of insanely talented, and it's actually really, really amazing. So there we go. Then I got Vinland Saga Volume 4. I'm so excited about this. I loved Vinland Saga Volumes 1, 2, and 3, and this is one that I'm going to continue to collect. I saw that there's a new volume of Vinland Saga. I don't know if it's like, what's it called? If it's like the final volume or something. I think it's nearing that kind of ending, but I'm not too sure. But Vinland Saga is such a good series, so cool, such a good artwork, and so kind of interesting. And I think this is the end of the first arc of the series and the start of the farmland arc, or the slave arc, or whatever it's called, where Thorfinn kind of is growing up as a person, is kind of going away from this idea that he wants revenge. And it just sounds really interesting. I'm really excited to see where that goes and kind of getting more of the story, you know, collected in these editions. So yeah, I still don't really like these editions. I mean, I like how they look, but I really don't like that they're so light for a hardcover book. It just makes me kind of unhappy, because it's like, this feels like it should be a very high, you know, high quality book, and because it's so light, it doesn't really feel that special. But I mean, that's kind of a weird nitpick, so I understand that some people don't really care about that. But it is something that I noticed that kind of bothers me a little bit sometimes, and it's not the best, but it's a good series anyway, so there you go. And then the last manga I bought this month is Ultraman Volume 1. I bought this at Half Price Books, again, during another one of those little field trips that we took after eating dinner. And yeah, here we go, Ultraman. Not much to say about this one. It's kind of interesting tokusatsu kind of series. It's a kind of reboot of Ultraman. And I don't really know too much about this series, but I just love the artwork so much. It looks so cool. I was actually gonna buy this in Spanish when I was in Mexico over the summer, because they had these kind of like three for 2 packs, where you could buy the first 3 volumes for like 200 pesos, which is like only $10, which is insane. And the only problem is like they're that big, right, compared to this volume. But I mean, it's really not that important size. Like it had all of the same things, and even had a bookmark and stuff, but I decided not to because I didn't want that bigger artwork, right? But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. I think it just looks so cool, and I don't really have anything else to say, so there you go. That's Ultraman. Now we're 13 minutes in, and I've only done the manga section, and we're only halfway done through all of the stuff that I bought, so let's keep going, I guess. So the one novel I bought this month is this one called Hounded. This is the Iron Druid Chronicles, and this is a kind of interesting urban fantasy series. There's really not that many of them that are oriented towards men. Most of them are actually more in the paranormal romance kind of side of things, and they actually are mostly marketed for women. So it's kind of interesting to kind of get a urban fantasy that is male oriented or marketed for men, or whatever you want to call it, with a male lead. I don't really know how to say it, but it's kind of interesting. This is in line with stuff like what's his name, Jim Butcher's series, Harry Dresden, the Dresden Files. And I actually do like the Dresden Files. I like the first 2 books. I have the 3rd one, I just haven't gotten around to reading it. And I'm kind of excited to check this out because it's not the same, but it is kind of in the same vein. And I'm looking forward to it. This kind of follows a guy who's the last druid, and he kind of has to, you know, do stuff and find out what the hell's going on. And yeah, nothing much to it. I'm just excited to check out something that is kind of a little bit different from my usual reads. So there you go. That's the Iron Druids. Now, that's it for that. Let's get into the comic book section here. Let's start with the first stuff that I bought this month, which would be Go-Go Power Rangers, if I can find it. Let's see. I have like a mess here. I have like my desk chair, and it's just a mess here. It's not very organized. Okay, so that's not it. Let's see. Okay. Okay, so the first thing I got was Go-Go Power Rangers Volume 1. This is the kind of retelling of the original series before Tommy Oliver shows up. Not much to say about this one. I don't really know too much about it. It's written by Ryan Perrott, the guy that actually wrote the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, which is the mainline storyline of the Go-Go Power Ranger, or the Power Rangers from Boom. Is actually Kyle Higgins, who is actually a guy that I'm kind of interested in now because he has quite a few different tokusatsu-esque type of things that he's writing that I'm kind of interested in. But I haven't read this. I just am interested in Power Rangers. I like Power Rangers a lot, or I did when I was growing up, and I want to check out stuff that is kind of modern to the series that isn't like other TV shows, because the TV shows really took a downturn after the end of the Jetix era. And once it became like proper just Disney, they're not really that good. But yeah, Go-Go Power Rangers Volume 1. Nothing much to say about this one. I'm just excited to check it out. The art looks kind of interesting, and it's not really my favorite, but it's kind of cool. And then I did Free Comic Book Day. It was Free Comic Book Day during this month. I think it was the 14th. It was a Saturday. And, well, I got a bunch of free comic books. So originally I went to the one store called Comic Asylum, and I actually ended up buying or getting a few comic books there, and I got Saga Volumes 4 and 5, which I'll show you in a minute. But then I went to this other one called Madness Games and Comics, and well, it's kind of crazy. They just had everything there to kind of let you pick whatever you wanted. It was cool. It was kind of interesting. I got to pick out a bunch of stuff, and I don't necessarily think I loved all of it, but it definitely made me interested in checking out comics more than it really had before, right? So it's kind of interesting. I'm kind of happy about it. Most of these that I'm showing you are the ones that weren't really my favorite, or they I liked, but not enough to really care too much about. So that's why I don't have any boards and sleeves. But there are a few that I got during Free Comic Book Day that I really appreciated, that I really liked, and that made me really happy. And so I started checking out comic books. And of course, I actually went to Comic Asylum and set up a pull list, which is essentially like a pre-order list, where you kind of go and you're like, hey man, I want these comic books that I know are going to come out in this coming month. Can you get them to me, right? You know, can you separate a few of them for me? And I'll come pick them up once a month or something, right? And that's basically what it is. And it's kind of cool. It works really nicely because you don't have to worry about not getting there on time, because, you know, comic book stores don't really make that much money anymore. And so they don't order that many things of each copy of each comic book, since there's so many that come out in a month. So if you're on a pull list, you guarantee that you get one, right? So it's kind of cool. But yeah, anyway, I want to stop talking about that because Solo Leveling is the most disappointing Free Comic Book Day thing that I got. And this is because it doesn't show you anything cool. It just shows you the beginning of the prologue, which is like the most boring aspect of Solo Leveling. And so if they really wanted to get people to be interested in the series, they did a poor job by using the very beginning of the story. They really should have started at like midway through the prologue, so you could kind of see some of the cool stuff that happens, right? But I mean, it's okay. It really isn't that bad. The only like positive thing that I can think of to say about this series, or about this specific Free Comic Book Day comic or issue, is that it kind of sets you up to understand how manhwa is different from manga or comic books. It kind of has a different style of paneling due to the fact that it's supposed to be done for scrolling on your phone. But other than that, it was just kind of a lame, kind of disappointing thing. It doesn't really show you anything that cool or kind of interesting, right? So overall, it wasn't the best. It was kind of sad. Like, see, the first 2 pages are the best part, but that's like nothing. That doesn't really get you excited about the series at all. So I think they kind of failed with that one, but other than that, I think it's okay. Same thing with Zom, and same thing with Rent a Really Shy Girlfriend. I just think they weren't thought out that well, and so it ended up being kind of boring, which kind of sucks because it kind of doesn't make you interested in manga. And of course, it's actually not that necessary. Manga is quite a bit more popular than comic books nowadays, so it doesn't really have to market so much. But it is kind of annoying that, like, when they do market, it's so lazy, right? So I don't know, maybe that's just me being kind of weird about it, but I'm not too sure. So yeah, the other things I got were Saga Volumes 4 and 5. There you go. I actually ended up buying Volume 6 later, so I'll show you that later. But I'm really excited about this. I'm gonna definitely read these during September because I do want to do that kind of whole like sci-fi thing in September. Once again, I think I did it in May last time and I thought it was really fun. So I want to do that again and kind of, you know, read through a lot of the stuff that I have. So there you go. Let's see, I'll put these over here. Then let's see, what else did I get? Okay, so after Saga, I went to Half Price Books again. And let's see if I can get this out. Okay, and then I got Batman Year One. Yeah, there you go, that's the right one. This is a hardcover edition. I don't know if this is a special type of edition or not, but really excited about this. This is kind of the like quintessential story of Batman. I mean, not necessarily. I think the Killing Joke and kind of other stuff like that is like more quintessential. But this one is like, if you want to get into the character, check this out, right? And in fact, I actually wanted to check this out because the new Batman movie that's going to come out is actually kind of based on this. The one with Cedric Diggory, what's his name? Robert Pattinson. The movie that he's doing, the movie where he's Batman, is actually kind of based on this. It's like the first year of Batman, the kind of beginning of his modern story, the kind of idea that, like, you know, he wasn't a badass from the very beginning, right? So it's kind of cool. I'm really interested in this. And so I picked it up and I'm really happy with the purchase. So yeah, I'll probably read this sometime soon. I'm not too sure when, but I am looking forward to it at some point. Okay, then that same day, I actually bought Green Lantern Rebirth. Now, this isn't Rebirth like the relaunch of the DC Universe. This is Rebirth as in, let's bring the character back into prominence. This is written by Jeff Johns, which is kind of the guy that really relaunched so many different things and characters and kind of series in the 2010s era, right? I think this is actually a little bit before that, but the point is that basically he did a bunch of stuff where he kind of like brings a character that kind of has fallen out of favor into prominence once again by creating a really complex, really interesting storyline. And I haven't read this yet. I just know about this because I kind of like Jeff Johns, actually. I think he wrote Aquaman, the New 52 version, and I love that series, or at least the first 3 volumes. It's kind of like what the modern Aquaman movie is based on, so it's kind of interesting, kind of cool, and I really enjoy Jeff Johns' stuff, apparently, so I want to check this out. Green Lantern is a character that I've always thought was interesting, but I couldn't ever get into because the movie sucked, and most of the time when he showed up in the television show, he was like a secondary character at best. So I picked this up and I'm really looking forward to it. I think that it's really cool that there's like 5 different Green Lanterns. There's Hal Jordan, which is this guy, and then there's the black guy who was like the Green Lantern that I knew from growing up. I actually can't remember his name. But I remember him growing up. He was like the one that was in a lot of the TV shows. And then there's the other 2 guys, which are not what's called that interesting to me. I don't really know too much about them. And then this alien guy here, which is a Kilgog or something like that. I can't remember his name exactly, but it's pretty interesting. I don't know. Hal Jordan is like the Green Lantern that I know by name because of the movie, but I know that he hasn't really been that prominent since, or like for a long time, right? So yeah, there you go, Green Lantern Rebirth. Then, what did I do? Let's see. Okay, then I bought Radiant Black. I picked this up because my buddies Darth Penn and Josh from Shonen Trash have really talked this up to me, and it's kind of like a Power Rangers type of series. It's written by Kyle Higgins, and I picked it up because I was really interested in, you know, checking it out and kind of finding out more about Kyle Higgins because I really am interested in his stuff. You know, Power Rangers, he has an Ultraman series, this, of course, and then Darkhawk, which I actually picked up and kind of liked, so I'm really looking forward to it. So, yeah, there you go. And then, what else did I buy? Then I bought Saga Volume 6. Again, same thing as before. I'm just really excited about it, so there you go. And then, what else did I buy? Then I went to the comic book shop and bought physical editions of stuff. So here we go. We got King Spawn, issue 1, Darkhawk issue 1, Black Knight issue 1, and Barbaric issue 1. And I'm actually really happy with all of these. I'm not going to collect anything else from Black Knight because the volume or the kind of trade paperback comes out soon in October. So I'm not going to collect this one anymore. I bought more of this already, and I'm actually looking forward to buying more of it later. Darkhawk was kind of an interesting one. I don't know too much about the character, but I checked it out. It was written by Kyle Higgins, and I actually liked it well enough. I mean, it kind of reads like a CW show, where kind of like Power Rangers meets Glee, in a really funky kind of dramatic way, and I thought it was pretty interesting. I don't really hate it. I don't necessarily think it's my favorite thing ever, but I do want to at least read the full series, since it's only going to be 5 issues. So that's cool. And then Spawn. I really liked the original volume 1 of Spawn, and King Spawn is like the new big title that is kind of developing the universe of Spawn and kind of creating a lot of different characters. And so I'm really excited about this. I actually really like this. I thought it was really cool. It's kind of structured in an interesting way, where it has like a few different stories all tied into one book. And so we get to see Gunslinger Spawn, this kind of hero character. We get to see this other character called Haunt, and then Spawn himself, which is pretty cool. And then what else? Oh, well, actually, before that, let me show you all of the free comic book day things that I actually really like. They put them in sleeves and boards so they don't get damaged. Lady Mechanica, I actually want to pick this up soon. I'm waiting for the image editions, because the original ones that they sell on Amazon are not the same. Then Vampirella, I liked it quite a bit. I don't know if I'll collect any of Vampirella's series though. Then Captain Harlock, the Blaze version. I do want to collect this, but it's kind of like 4 issues in, and I don't think I'll be able to find them all, so I'm just going to wait for the trade paperback. Vampire the Masquerade. I don't know too much about this, but it looks cool. It's by Vault, so that's cool. Street Fighter 100, or number 100, issue 100. Pretty cool. I might pick up the trade paperbacks. I'm not too sure. Earth's Mightiest Heroes, The Avengers. Cool. I liked it a lot because it was a kind of interesting thing, but this one is like the specific storyline that starts in issue 50, and I don't really want to do that, so I'm gonna wait for that, and I'll pick this up again at some point. This is by Blaze, so I should be able to just buy it whenever I feel like, so I'm looking forward to it as well. And yeah, now let's finish up. So I went to a different comic book shop. I went to this one called Madness Games and Comics. I got Monstrous by Marjorie Liu. And I got this because apparently this is one of those like comic books that you get if you're interested in comic books, but like manga more. So you kind of pick this up and kind of get interested in comic books. And so I knew about it that way, and I picked it up, and I think I'm gonna like it. I'm not too sure. It has a lot of Egyptian kind of mythology here, and kind of really steampunk horror elements that are really cool. And of course it has like a little cat girl there, which is kind of interesting. I'm not too sure about what it is about it that kind of attracted me, but I just think that the packaging of the series is so good. Then I got a few more single issues. I got Transformers King Grimlock. It's kind of weird, but I actually really love Transformers, and I think that their lore is kind of really interesting. And so I got this. It's basically Grimlock gets isekai'd into this fantasy world, and he has to kind of decide if he's going to save these people that are kind of being attacked by this evil Transformer. And then I got Barbaric 2 and Barbaric 3. Really great stuff. Walt is really coming out with some awesome, cool stuff. So I'm really looking forward to getting more of Barbaric, and I might actually go back and collect Heavy, but I haven't really seen any single issues of that floating out around, although they are continuously releasing, so I'm not too sure. And then I picked up Mirka Andolfo's Sweet Paprika because I saw that she was doing a Red Sonja series, and before I got into the Red Sonja series, I wanted to see if I liked her writing. So I picked this up, and it turned out this is kind of a rom-com, so it might not be the same style, but I really loved it. I thought it was very fun. It's kind of like Sweat and Soap, but also kind of like Devil Wears Prada, I think is the movie. But it's also kind of interesting because it has this kind of like saga-esque fantasy world where it's like two different groups of people that are kind of the same but different and kind of are in conflict or something like that. And I just really love the artwork. I think Mirka Andolfo's style is very cool. And of course she's Italian, and she actually works with a lot of different companies that I know of because I'm interested in manga from different places. And so I was interested in her because she worked with Panini and Glenat and a few other kind of companies that do comic books and manga in other countries. And I'm really excited to see where she goes with Red Sonja. Red Sonja is one of my favorite characters that I've never read. I don't know why, I just love how she looks and how she is. And of course, it's very cool that it's like a female barbarian. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to Mirka Andolfo's Red Sonja run, but I'm also going to try to pick up more of her stuff because Sweet Paprika was really good. There's this series called Mercy, which is a single trade paperback, and then there's this other one that's 3 that's called Unnatural, and then there's one called Unsacred. So I'm really excited to try to pick up everything that she has written, because I really like her style, and her kind of presence online is actually pretty cool as well. So yeah, but yeah, that's everything I bought this month. It's quite a bit of stuff, and should be the last thing I bought, so I really shouldn't have to update this at all, hopefully. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe, and comment down below. Let me know what you thought. Let me know what you guys bought this month, and if you're a comic book fan or a manga fan or whatever fan, let me know what you got, and let me know what your favorite thing that you bought this month was. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I really appreciate you guys watching, so see you guys later.